Isn't it weird that we spend a third of our lives unconscious, hallucinating, not in control of our bodies? Of course, I'm talking about sleep. And when you think about it, it's kind of a weird thing to do, right? I mean, what does it do? What's the purpose of it? And why have we evolved in this weird way that means we're just unconscious for 8 hours a day? I mean, what does it do? Why do we do it? And why am I just tired all the time? Stay tuned for my special guest this week, the student Key, who will be talking about his experiences of sleeping while at university. Scientists aren't entirely sure why we actually sleep, but what we do know is that sleep is important. Not sleeping or regularly not getting enough sleep leads to memory loss, increased irritability, raised blood pressure, lower immunity, and in some cases, getting prolonged lengths of days without sleep can lead to death. All birds and mammals that we know of sleep, and almost all fish, insects and amphibians have periods of time when they're either unconscious or shut off half their brain at a time in what can be approximated as sleep. So while scientists don't know exactly why we sleep, we know that our bodies have processing mechanisms to help us sleep on a daily schedule. We, like all other mammals on the planet, follow what's called a circadian rhythm. That's where our daily hormones and bodily functions change according to what time of day it is. And this is dictated by the sun. When it's light outside, our body releases serotonin, which helps us stay alert and awake. And when it's dark outside, our body releases melatonin, which is the sleepy, slowing down hormone. The main processing center for all this is located in the hypothalamus in the center of the brain. This is located on the optical nerve and links our nervous system to a hormonal messaging system. The hypothalamus is also in charge of controlling our metabolism, our thirst levels, and our temperature control system. During daylight hours, our hypothalamus floods our body with daytime hormones like cortisol, serotonin, those sort of things. These raise our heart rates and alertness levels and trigger us for fight or flight. And then when it gets dark, it triggers the release of melatonin. Sleepy hormone. So you've probably heard of melatonin if you've ever taken tablets to help you sleep or Googled sleep at 3 a.m. But it's not the only hormone that's responsible for making you feel tired. For that, you can thank adenosine. Scientists are becoming increasingly aware of the impact that adenosine has on sleep and sleepiness. In fact, the way that caffeine works is by blocking the adenosine receptors in our brain to help us feel more awake. Adenosine levels fall to zero when we sleep and then build up during the day for the longer that we are awake. It's our adenosine level combined with our circadian rhythm that make us feel like we need to sleep. We feel most tired during the hours of 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. and then the time that we feel second most tired is around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Afternoon nap, anyone? We have two main stages of sleep. These are the deep, slow wave sleep and then the rapid eye movement or REM sleep. The first hour is usually your deep sleep, followed by the REM sleep, and this repeats every 3 hours or so. Slow wave sleep is when your brain resets its adenosine levels. It sends beta waves from the front of your brain through to the back, and it's often much more difficult to wake up from this deep sleep. Though if you do, this is when you often feel the most groggy. REM sleep is when you dream, and this is when you're more likely to twitch or make noises in your sleep. Your brain makes very fast but low-powered brain waves, similar to when we're awake. But the difference is our brain is strengthening neural connections that are really important, say things we learned that day, and then weakening or forgetting neural connections that aren't important, like hopefully the lyrics that KPI advert that keeps going around my brain. Sleep not only rejuvenates our brains, but it helps us build muscle and helps reset our hormone balances for the day. So it's really good for us. But in the modern world, we are just not getting enough sleep. Recent studies have shown that 2/3 of adults in the UK feel like they're not getting enough sleep. And insomnia is affecting nearly 1/3 of people to the point where it's affecting their health. Yikes. This is often related to anxiety or other mental health disorders, and can also be linked to disruption in our circadian rhythms, for example, having to work night shift. Are you watching this in bed? Should you be asleep right now? Well then turn off your phone. Carry on watching this video tomorrow. I'll still be here, honest. Night night, sleep well. I hope you have pleasant dreams. And do you know what else can stop us from sleeping? Stress. Exam season is upon us. and it's more vital than ever to make sure that you're catching those Z's. So for this video, I have teamed up with Harrison from the Student Key to tell us all about his experiences at uni and how he coped with getting enough sleep.
I had just moved to Maine in the US to do a study abroad semester, and for me it was the first time living in a cold climate. Fast forward a couple of months and it was finals week. It was the final day of the week and I had done a bit of studying, but I had a lot more to do, so I'd made the decision to stay up all night and get all of it done. I drank some Red Bulls and sat and studied. Something I didn't notice, however, was that a few people I was studying with were sick. They had the flu. But being from Australia and having grown up in a society where it's kind of hot all the time, I was lucky enough to never have experienced a really bad flu. So I didn't pick up on all the symptoms that everyone was having. So I pushed on, finished all the studies and got no sleep. Fast forward again to after the exam where I had a gigantic nap. I woke up sweating, I had a fever and my throat was just so sore. I had no idea how to react. I walked into the lab I was working at and asked everyone what was going on. They gave me a weird look back. I remember walking into the on-campus pharmacy and calling up a friend and asking what the difference between Dayquil and NyQuil was. I then went over to the place of this girl I had just started seeing and asked her to look after me like a giant baby. She didn't know who I was really because we'd just started seeing each other, but here I was in her bed telling her to look after me, tuck me in and grab me some water.
Come on, you need to eat something. Too weak to hold bowl.
I was from Australia and didn't know how to deal with cold weather or a flu. But most importantly, I didn't get enough sleep during a busy time of the year. And because of this, my immune system was lowered and allowed something in that I didn't have time for. Don't make the same mistake as me. Get enough sleep and keep your barriers high, because you never know what can be let in otherwise.
The Student Key is an absolutely underrated channel. It's full of really helpful tips, hints, anecdotes, stories, and in fact Harrison has done a video on the importance of sleep during studying as part of a series of studying for this exam time. So I will leave a link to his video there on the card, and I'll leave a link to his channel in the description down below. So seriously, go check him out. So my question for you is, have you ever suffered from insomnia or struggled to sleep? What tips and tricks do you have for getting a restful night? Leave a comment down below and let me know, because I am really tired and I'm struggling to sleep. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Science with Steph. If you did, give it a like, share it with your friends and leave a comment down below of what you'd like to see next. In the meantime, if you want to watch my last episode, then you can click here, or if you want to check out the Student Key, then check him out here. Subscribe somewhere on the screen and I'll see you next week. Alright, thank you. Bye!